A zaraz trochę historii.
49263.
Hello and welcome to Comrades, your unofficial podcast for the Americans. I am one of your comrades, Jesse Jackson, and joining me as always is my Bruce wife and my fellow comrade, Allie Scales. Hey, Allie.
Hi, Jesse. How are you? Happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy Bruce Day, Wembley.
Yes.
Sorry, needed to get all that out.
I totally agree. That is, have you seen him in Wembley? Have you ever?
I have.
Of course you have.
I have. What a silly question.
Now,
I should have been there this year.
Yeah. Now, is that, it appears that's just a huge open area, right?
Oh, it's a stadium.
Oh, it is a stadium? Okay, Wembley, yeah, not Hyde Park. I was thinking of
No,
Hyde Park.
I saw him too. I was there when they shut the lights off and they pulled the plug with him and Sir Paul McCartney.
I still don't understand how that gets away in
I mean, really.
I
mean, maybe Bruce, but Sir Paul McCartney?
Come on.
I mean, come on. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Were you at the Ireland show the next time where they brought out the fake generator and finished the show?
I was not.
Okay.
I was not. But I've been to Ireland shows.
Yes.
Wish I was at the two that were this year. They were pretty spectacular. But this is not set listing Goose, people.
No, it's not. Though
and I could go on. Plug for other podcasts.
Yes. We are talking.
We're sad. We're one episode away after today. One episode away.
Yes. Wow, what an episode.
Yes, we are. In case you don't know, people, we are talking a Roy Rogers in Franconia, something like that.
Have you ever
Franconia, whatever? That's which I looked up, and that would be a duchy.
Okay.
Like a district or a place in German.
Okay.
Yes. Have I ever what?
Have you ever been at Roy Rogers?
Yes. This New York girl has been in a Roy Rogers.
Because this...
maybe once or twice. They do the roast beef sandwiches, right?
Okay. Yeah, this Louisiana, Texas boy has never been at one. Though I've heard of it. Yes. Were they like Arby's before it was an Arby's?
Okay, I've never been in Arby's.
Okay.
You got me there.
Okay.
New York City, we don't have a lot of some of these, fast food places.
Okay.
So, but that's what we're talking right now. Let's see really quickly.
Yes.
And we'll cover it all, but we're going to talk about Paige's first kiss, William.
Yes.
With the best line of this year. Let's just go there really quickly.
Okay, very nice.
When he is telling Philip that he is not going to do this, he just cannot, the stress of it all, and that he says this pathogen is the worst. It literally kills your insides first, liquefying them, and then you shoot them out your anus.
That was a great line.
I mean, come on. Can you imagine the writers writing this? And then you shoot it out. You shoot yourself out. Anyway, I won't say it again.
No. Dylan Baker is always amazing, but I have loved him as William. The weariness.
He's fabulous.
The, concern, the wry humor. remember he had another great line, "We get vacations."
Yes, that was the best. We get time off.
Yeah, it's like, what? Um, he's, and I love that they're focused on the humanity. That,
We're seeing a lot of that, though.
yes, he's saying, you know, I don't know if anyone should have this.
Mm-hmm.
And do I trust people enough to our people to have it and your people, right? The U.S. So this is some really, really bad mojo, and he's convinced to help, that we should do this. And of course, Gabriel is so good at handling them that he, convinces him, no, this last thing, and then we're going to send you home.
Right.
You're
a hero. You'll be treated great.
Yeah.
You could get a wife. You could finally have a wife and a family.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he says.
And
speaking of a wife and a family, they had the baby. Kerry Russell had the baby.
Yes.
And no one knows what it is yet. They have not disclosed it. No one knows the sex. I went to sources this morning, really good sources. No one knows it. And if they do, they're just not telling. They're just that good.
I love that. I love that very much.
And as we always discuss, did you notice the careful placement of the bread on the island?
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I digress.
No. Yeah, the other thing I wanted, kind of jumping around, is I love Gabriel talking to William. I'm not William. To Philip when they talk about you can count on Elizabeth, and and he says the center made a good match.
Yeah.
And I do know that this, and we've discussed this a lot, that their marriage has been a journey. And they are tied together because of work, but also out of, children and respect and love of each other. And
right.
You ebbs and flows, but I do think they actually care about each other.
I agree. Oh, you saw that in this whole season. Yeah,
right.
You saw that numerous times. But I think, and what I'm seeing, with not just, William, and definitely we've seen it with Philip all season, but even Elizabeth a little bit, I think they're starting to wonder. I think even she is starting to really wonder if, Mother Russia, if the greater good, if all of this, if what they're doing, what they believe the greater good is, with, as from Russia,
Yeah.
if it's worth all the personal sacrifices anymore. I really, that Philip has been very emotional, so to speak, this season.
Right.
You're seeing a little bit with William. You saw it even with Gabriel when he gave them time off, and was so like, you guys are beyond right now. But I think you're starting to see it a little bit with Elizabeth. I don't know. We'll see.
And
Won't surprise us all.
I think part of that is they are seeing themselves through Paige's eyes.
That's it. Exactly. And Paige what a recruit Paige has become.
Yeah.
Like when she came in and she's like, I should be reporting this, right? I should be telling you this.
And
right? This is what I should be doing?
Yeah.
This is what you want to hear.
And I love the fact that they said, look, be friends with him or not. That's up to you.
But don't do it for us.
Yeah, and then she kind of threw back, look, I was ready to be done with the church and Pastor Tim. And you
Elizabeth.
said I had to be.
That's the bread scene with the bread in front of Elizabeth.
Yes.
The prop. No, but Elizabeth made it very clear.
Yeah.
Why that was necessary without saying, because you messed up, little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I would have said to my child. But, Elizabeth did refer to it, did more or less say, you created that issue, but
Right.
it could have went much more.
So let me ask, Allie, and then I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but before I forget, were you a little surprised at how they handled Paige's feelings and discussions with her parents after the possible, attack?
Yeah, I think they were, and I think, when it all led up to her asking, "You don't trust me?" I think they did. They gave her what they could give her, and I don't think they trust her. I think they want to trust her. I think they told her what she needed. Elizabeth was kind of motherly in a way, trying to protect Paige in the sense like she didn't want to say that she's done this many times before, and this
Right.
is, I'm a trained assassin, because they always tell Paige and Pastor Tim and everyone, no, what we do is better, we're not involved in that part of this, and sure enough, in a matter of, a nanosecond, Elizabeth had killed a guy in front of Paige. So I think, they handled it the best that they could, given Paige's history already with them. But now we see that Philip, as he was walking out the house after the phone call, did tell her a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think this is a matter of, we all do this as parents, that we choose what we're going to share with our children.
Mm-hmm.
You try to be as honest as possible, but you don't necessarily say, Dad's having a bad year at work and we're worried we're going to lose the house. Because they don't need that burden. And so I think, and I realize having money problems is totally different than, I've killed tons of people. But in theory, it's kind of the same thought. I'm going to share with you, I'm going to be as honest with you as I can. I'm going to share with you as much as I can, while keeping in mind you are a teenager. You are not an adult yet. So at least that's how I see it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
I do.
I
was just thinking of an argument I had with my daughter last night, so
Oh,
as you
okay.
said that, it was very similar.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's all. So I really need to talk about Olga.
Okay, let's talk about Olga.
So I'm gonna jump. So we see them with my favorite at the Residentora,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets the news that she's leaving. That she's gonna be the resident of the Residentora. And then
in a country in Africa, right? Did we know which one?
Yes, we did. We were told. Tatiana, right? Did say it. I don't.
Because they kind of made a fun, and it was, I thought, very sweet. Like, I'm going to be the boss, but it's in a little minor country. And it's like,
no, absolutely.
But nevertheless, you're a woman. You're going to be the boss. You got to start somewhere. That's a big, freaking deal. So I really like that. And
Nairobi.
Okay. And I always, and it was really funny because, at first you're like, well, you would be my boss. I'm thinking that through my head. Would this be, because this is the 80s. But it was truly.
And they're Russian. It's the 80s and they're Russian.
Yeah.
There's no women's liberation yet for Russians in the 80s. That's what makes this thing such a big deal. It's like to Tatiana and Olga and everyone. Yeah. But he, pardon my language, he screws her. He screws her over with Stan. What he did is a direct screwing over of Tatiana.
So let's talk about that.
Because she made the comment, as long as she doesn't kill anyone on the Eastern Seaboard for the next 2 weeks.
Yes, because of the bioweapons.
Well, what did he go and do? After in the last episode, then they just said, or they were never going to meet again.
Right.
Olga signals for Stan. We see Stan get the phone call and goes out. And what does he do? He screws her.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't notice this? You didn't notice it?
I did, but why do you think he's doing this?
He doesn't want to leave America. He wants an out. She was not supposed to be a relationship. She was not supposed to be a love. She was supposed to be a friend with benefits.
Okay.
Now he's in this predicament. You could see it when he first said, his first reaction to her was, don't blow this. Don't blow it. And then, I don't think, I don't think his careful pause and little bit hesitation was because, like she said, I know we've only been at this for a couple of months, and you know what I mean? I think it was more, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this?
Now,
and we'll see. I could be 1,000,000% wrong, and I'm fine with that. But as a woman, that's what I see.
What's really interesting, Allie, is I did not see that at all.
Mm-hmm.
You're
a man. It doesn't surprise me.
Well, and I'm also, as people say all the time, I am, I'm all rainbows and sunshine.
Unlike me. That's why we get along so good, because because I'm not. I'm not that I'm devils and dust.
Right.
I mean, how to say that.
Yes.
But I'm, more.
Yes.
Yes.
So here's
That's how I see it.
Yes. So let me tell you how I saw it.
Okay. Oh, good.
I saw that last week Stan was honest with him and said, they want me to turn you, but I don't want
that on my conscience
again. And so I think Oleg goes to him and says, and I have here the quote, we have the best scientists in the world, but we don't have the money, and it's not a good combination. All those brains with what they're doing without the right resources, they get their hands on something they can't handle in the right way. I can't stop it, but maybe you guys can. So I honestly think he is worried about
Jesse?
The world. Yes?
I lost you for a second.
Oh, okay. I think he is worried about the world and is not doing this to hurt anyone or to get out of anything. I truly think his conscience is bothering him. That this is a step too much. Much like William is saying, this is too negative. This is too bad.
Well, maybe because we do see him calling his mom, like his family. You know, we do see him kind of soft in that way. You may be 100% correct. I actually hope it's more fruit that you say.
Yeah.
Because I don't want, I don't think it would be right to do to her, but that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
So I hope you're right. I do. I hope it's for the greater good.
We will see. It's kind of in the middle.
And we may not see for some time.
Right.
There's only one episode left, people.
I know.
Oh, God. No. What am I going to do?
So, Peter Jacobson, the new boss, Munchkinland, actually seemed to step up a little bit this episode. When Stan gives him the news, he's
with Adderall standing there.
Yeah, okay, let's get this going. When he asked,
and they can't figure out what to do at first, right? In Adderall.
Yeah, I love that.
We'll just shoot him.
Yeah, when he goes, does anyone else know this? I went, oh, he's gonna, take credit. He's gonna
absolutely. That's what I thought.
But he wasn't at all. He was like, okay, let's get this on. All hands on deck.
Yeah.
They're going through all this. Now, we have been on the record about this show, kind of mind F's you because you start cheering for the Russians because they're the stars. But I was a little happy that Stan got a victory.
Well, it looks like in the season finale, which is called Persona non grata,
yeah,
he's going to have a big victory of some sort.
Right. And
I mean,
I was
spoiler.
Yeah, I was happy that they, kind of by doing their research, kind of saw something, and it made me happy because you don't want the FBI to be bumbling idiots all the time.
We don't?
I guess because it makes for a better show. If you have a better villain, and in this case the FBI is the villain, which is so messed up, you want them strong and smart. So that was very, very interesting.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Okay.
Which doesn't happen often on that point that you just made.
Okay. I
mean, they are the Federal Bureau of Idiots. I'm sorry.
Okay, there you go.
I'm sorry. It's very hard.
No, that's wonderful. Paige. Paige is in shock.
Our favorite Holly Taylor.
Oh, we just love her so much.
We do.
She just rocks. She's really gone through a tough time. And should we just record this and insert it every episode? Holly Taylor just kills it. She knocks it out of the park. Every time. She is just amazing.
You notice her eyebrows this episode, moving up, moving down, moving this. She was like, I was just watching her.
Yeah.
Those eyes. Her eyes, what she sees through those young eyes, how she portrays it. It's fabulous.
And if Elizabeth was a different kind of person, because Elizabeth is...
what, you mean a cold Russian spy?
Yes. Because Dad is he is...
the good cop.
And he is the nurturing one.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And when he has to leave, it's like... It just, Paige says it was just so fast. I don't even know what was happening. I was just so scared, and you didn't seem upset afterwards. You're like, calm. How could you be calm? You killed him, Mom.
Right.
And she's very cool. I wasn't going to let him hurt you.
Exactly.
Then it was all happening so fast. Mm-hmm. And I thought of a Russian bear, a mama Russian bear. Nothing is going to hurt her cubs.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, while she's not the nurturing, whatever, she's still her mom. I mean, as like, even when she came to the room and she's like, Coco, she's trying. I think she does absolutely adore the kids, in her own way, though. And like when she started to describe where she grew up.
I do agree with you, Elizabeth. And I'm not going to say loves them in her own way. I think she loves them, period. These are her children. And they talk about, we have to be very careful with Henry.
Yes.
And I do think that this has been a brilliant story point of bringing Paige into this and the different things.
I agree. They really explored every angle of it. It wasn't just a fast, 1 or 2 episode arc where they're going to bring Paige in and she's in.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do that. Speaking of in and speaking of out, because I'm dying right here. Dying.
Yes.
Martha's still in the picture. I mean, listen, they didn't have to make that phone call.
Right.
There's a reason that Martha's still in the picture.
And
I wanted to touch on that.
No, I'm glad you did, because I was thinking about that before we recorded this morning. I was going out to the garage to get some, actually a new box of Splenda, and I was thinking about how sad and how lonely Martha must be feeling in Russia.
Unless there's a couple of Soviets that are keeping her company at night.
Well...
I mean, she was told she was going to be this hero and welcome.
Yeah, so maybe.
You never know.
Right.
I just can hope from a woman.
I hope so, too. Yes, that would be nice. A young Russian soldier.
Being fed borscht,
yes.
But it's just interesting that we could get back to Paige in a second, but it's just interesting because they don't have to keep her so alive at this point. You know, the other episode we had Stan and them sitting down with her dad. This one we have Gabriel breaking her mother's heart. You know, it's interesting. It's just interesting because I don't think we're done. And I kind of don't think we're done from things that I've gotten from Allison Wright.
Right.
We'll see. Another thing.
Yes.
There's cliffhangers before the cliffhanger, people.
I was very, very happy that Philip was forcing Gabriel, you need to call her parents. You need to do this. And I know he would love to talk to Martha. But he can't. And
right. I think he would love to. I think he would love if Martha was still there and he was going there 2-3 nights a week.
Yes.
And I don't think just because of the FBI anymore.
Yeah.
I think he would love that. And again, nothing to take away with Elizabeth, but Martha humanized, brought out so much human, in Philip.
Yeah.
That's what really started him on this emotional journey and this, taking inventory of his life was Martha.
By the way, on a very side note, did you notice that Oleg was studying schematics for the Challenger space shuttle?
Holy crud. Do you think that they're putting spy stuff or this in it? What do you think?
Well, and I
couldn't believe.
I couldn't either, and I was thinking of the Challenger explosion.
When did it explode?
It was after 85?
Was it that far?
I think so.
I was home from – interesting. I was home from school sick.
Okay.
And I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I grew up very fortunate. Okay?
Okay.
So we had a live-in person that, was there from the time I was born till I think started high school, who cooked and cleaned and, looked after me. And I was in my bedroom, which had a TV, no remote dials, because I wasn't that privileged. I had a TV in my room. That was big enough back then. And
yes.
And I remember, I think it was Walter Cronkite with the models, and he kept, showing how, because there was no graphics like we have today. They used a model of the Challenger. And I remember going into the kitchen when my mom came home. I hadn't left my room since. And I said to my mom and our lovely lady who lived with us, took care of everything. I said to them, the space shuttle, exploded today. And my mom used to listen to 8 tracks, in the car and stuff, which were still popular in cars back in the 80s. And they both didn't want to believe me. I mean, it was like, you're watching something else. What are you watching? And I remember it took them a good 5 minutes to listen to me and want to put the TV on. And I remember the gasp that came from my mom, and the crying, when she saw it. And, I was young enough that I understood what happened, but I couldn't grasp the emotional, and everything around it then. That's just a little
So according
story.
to Wikipedia,
I
it
gave
happened
you time
on
to look it up.
January. Yes, you did. January 28th, 1986. So this is right in this time frame.
How many missions did it? Well, no, we're in 83 right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Americans are in 83.
Yeah.
But how many missions did the Challenger fly?
It launched and landed.
One, right?
It launched and landed 9 times before breaking apart 73
what was the
seconds
first time?
in the 10th. All right. I'm scrolling. It says yes. April 4th, 1983.
See that?
Yeah.
That was the first one. That's why they're looking at this.
Right. Random question.
Yeah.
Will they cover Born in the USA's birth during this show? Just a thought.
32 years old yesterday. Where did 32 years go of my life? And why is it that I keep track of my life in Moments in Time by Bruce Springsteen records?
So June 2nd, 1984, Linda and I got married. June 3rd, 1984,
I turned 50.
I turned 25.
25.
And then June 4th, 1984, Bruce Springsteen's most commercial album was released.
Now, let me ask you a question. I
Yes.
think Linda would appreciate me asking you this. Would you remember your birthday? No, your anniversary or the Born in the USA date if your birthday wasn't sandwiched between it?
I will admit you that I do never remember till it comes up that Born in the USA came out on the day after my birthday.
But you remember your anniversary, though.
Right.
I just didn't
remember,
know because the
wait a
trio,
minute.
you know, the trifecta
Yes.
of days there, I thought maybe it would just all be natural for you.
February 7th, 1980 was Linda and I's first date.
Is that around the time that The River came out?
I don't know. So,
you know, you're dating yourself and you're so not really telling the truth because it was really February 7th, 1990, and
no.
You're adding 10 years to your life. Here.
I turned 57 this week, so I am an old
Which
fart.
is so unbelievable, and I've met you in person, and I know you. You know, it's so unbelievable that you are that age. Both you and Linda don't look it. Neither one of you look your age.
God love you.
It's true, and I'm a skincare person and an all-around, glutton for all these things. And when my husband sees me with these crazy tools, puncturing my face with holes and doing all this, I raise my tool up in the air and I say, I will go down fighting. I will go down fighting. So I'm telling you, you two do not look it.
Thank you so much.
You know what? Tell me your secret. Is it the bourbon?
No, it's the fat. It makes my wrinkles
stand out.
Oh my
God, stop that. I know many heavier people than you, and they do not look as good as you.
Thank you, sweetie.
So do not say it's the fat.
Okay.
Ugh, you're ridiculous, man.
I want to go back to Paige and Matthew's
kiss?
Yes.
When they kiss, so give me one last kiss. Sorry, a little bye-bye birdie for you.
Yeah, it's so sweet.
It's so real.
Yes.
It's so real. Come on. Don't you remember your first kiss?
Yes.
And mine, funny that this happened, my first kiss was in 1983.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And it was also with my neighbor. Just like Paige.
Wow, were your parents Russian spies?
There's something I need to tell you.
Oh, no.
My mother's from Russia.
I do remember you sharing that.
Yeah, so, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. Why I was so interested in this show. It's really about me. Because you do know my maiden name is Weisberg, like Joe Weisberg.
Oh.
Is it all coming together now for you, Jesse?
It is all coming together.
There you go. That's why I like saying Resident Torah, because I grew up there.
I love that.
Paige and Matthew.
I love her. Okay.
I gotta go home now.
Okay. And
it's so real, though. It's so real.
Yes.
Most kids at that age, their first kiss is an awkward, moment, a stolen moment, as people say, and it was portrayed perfectly. And I also, love when you look at Matthew's face and how they shot it kind of funny because, here she is watching General Hospital with her mom when she was off from school.
Right.
And they shot this in a funny way, in my opinion, like a soap opera from his face to her face, from his face. Well, and with the corny look on his face, I'm going in, you can tell that he has that, I'm going in. It's like the guy trying to put the arm around the girl in the movie theater type of, you saw it.
Right, I did.
The awkward teenage thing, and it was great.
There was, what I also thought was great is them watching the soap opera.
They were watching General Hospital.
Is that Elizabeth has the same kind of reaction that on West Wing, they had the Martin Sheen character, President Bartlett, being sick during the day, and he was watching like a Jerry Springer type show.
Of course.
And he was like, "Do these people vote?" And so she's like, "I don't know." And Paige
and Elizabeth's like, "I just don't get it." And Paige is like, "Because it's emotional. It's whatever." She's looking at it in what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point? But it's funny because it's so true. Like back in the 80s, especially, you stayed home from school. Like I said, I was probably watching back then. I was a big ABC girl. I think it was like Ryan's Hope. Then it was All My Children, One Life to Live, and General Hospital in a row. And I would stay home from school and I would just put on, back here in New York, it's Channel 7. And I would put it on, and that was I do. But also back then, we only had 5 channels. 3 of them, whichever was on 24, not 24, but, whatever. But it's such a real thing that she would be watching that while she's home from school.
So
and
Allie,
Elizabeth, as a working mother, might not have known about it. Not just a Russian spy, but as a working mother.
She didn't watch her stories. She doesn't watch the stories. She doesn't watch her stories. As my mom would call them. Which, by the way, my mom still watches Days of Our Lives every day. Wow,
I haven't watched a soap opera in years.
Yes.
Can we talk about my other favorite thing in a minute when you're done?
Yes. All I was going to bring up is I just love that kind of dynamic, and they're trying to be there for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yes, bring up your other item. What did you want to discuss next?
My other favorite part of this show, the mail robot. Oh, my favorite thing.
Yes.
Now we know why they were teasing him throughout the season a little bit.
Right.
He's playing a much bigger role.
Yes.
Maybe he'll get an Emmy nod.
Oh. I don't know about that.
I'm just saying someone needs to get an Emmy nod for this series.
Oh. So.
If anyone listens is on SAG or at whatever they are, please vote for the Americans.
Yes.
Anyone, mail robot even.
Yeah.
But we can talk about the whole thing, the woman dying, Adderall, this and that. But what fascinates me is when, and where we get Roy Rogers from, is where the woman that's caught very quickly, might you add, since it was
very
put back in play, very quickly. And I don't know if that's because it was just put back in play and she was like, I got to retrieve this, or just for whatever. Because, again, we always say this shows everything is on purpose.
Yes.
They don't just do that.
And she thinks she's doing it for the mob.
Well, that's it. She said that she was in a fast food restaurant.
Yes. And
she met some mobster who offered her whatever it was, $500 a time or something. I don't remember the number.
Right.
And, basically, that's it. She met her in a mobster. And automatically, when you think back to the 80s and the beginning of the major RICO cases,
yes.
With the FBI, you think, a mobster. You don't think a Russian spy. And it's kind of funny because I thought watching it, and this is one of my stops and rewind and pause and digest moments, are they really going to think it's a mobster? Do they really think it's a mobster? Because they went along with it almost a little bit, but they really didn't think it was a mobster.
No, I think they knew.
Go on. I have to say something.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just have to digress. But the best is when Henry came back in and he's like, do you know where the little thing, the receiver is with the 2 things? Did you notice what the piece looked like when they showed it, the outside covering?
No.
Do you remember when we were kids and you would get, Atari or whatever, and you had a little box, right? And one thing went into that with 2 things going into it. Remember?
Yes.
And it was the metal things that went to the screws. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
Okay. That's what the outside, when they disassembled the recorder from the mailbot, that's what the outside casing looked like when it was put under the power supply and the fan in the mail robot. Okay. And then you have Henry saying, anyone know where that piece went, to hook up the TV? You watch the episode again or that scene, you'll catch it. You'll catch it.
Okay, I will.
It was very funny. It's a very funny way that they put that into play. Yes. I digress again. I'm so sorry, people. I'm sorry if I'm jumping around. No, I'm just so excited about this show.
All right, so here we're going to figure out the FBI, what's their play next week.
Oh.
We're going to see, do you think we're going to get another Pastor Tim appearance?
Yes.
Okay.
Or maybe I know that.
Will we get Martha
No.
You do not think we'll see? I do
No,
not think we're
I
going to see
think we're
Martha
going to
either.
get, I don't think we're going to see her. I think we're going to get another something alluding to her.
Okay.
But I do not think we're seeing Allison Wright on the screen this season.
All right.
And I don't even know if we'll see her part of next season. I'd love to, but
Yeah, I hope so too.
I don't know.
Okay. Now, Allie, we're going to do something a little special next week, aren't we?
We might be. Oh, that's special. Or
Yes.
the other special. There's so many special things
Right.
going on. Listen, if you listen to our podcast and you love the show, The Americans, the next few weeks, I know the show is ending, but we're going to have some special stuff for you.
Absolutely.
Yes, Jesse?
So, I am leaving on vacation next
Yay!
Thursday. We will be heading to the hills of Tennessee. So, if you...
Sorry, 80s song.
Yes. And I have a lot of Bruce Springsteen loaded up on my iPad.
I should have sent you down my Bruce pod.
Oh, yes. That'd be
I
awesome.
have a 128 meg iPod that has nothing on it but Bruce songs. It's called the Bruce pod in my house.
Oh,
also,
that is
then
greatness.
it has also then broken into separate playlists, one like working out, one just like hanging in the house, another one cleaning, another one driving, within the whole thing.
That is, I think that might be one of the coolest things I've ever heard. I have a friend who has a Dylan pod. Sam, who I talk about on Set Listing Bruce a lot,
Yeah.
did buy a separate iPad, and he is filled with nothing but Bob Dylan and covers of Bob Dylan songs.
Excellent.
And,
But-
yeah.
I love that, but also I'll have to take a picture for you, Jesse.
Yes.
My iPod, is the older charge, the
Right.
longer charger, and a gift to me was a charging station made out of an 8-track of Born to Run.
Oh, yes. Send me that picture, and we will. You have to tweet that. Just
Okay.
Okay. Very nice.
I will. Let me get it out. Let me
Okay.
think about it. Yeah, isn't that great?
That is
Someone made it
awesome.
out of a Born to Run that, not just because they had the 8-track, but because the 8-track was ripped.
Mm-hmm.
So they made it for me as a gift.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that great?
Yes. My mom texted me. She found I think it was a Tunnel of Love cassette at a garage sale, and so she bought it for me. And I
how
told her,
cute. Isn't that
awesome.
wonderful when they
Yes.
do that?
Yes, it is. Okay, so
It's like they were paying attention, Mom.
they are. The other thing, so what we're going to do, we have a couple other things that we can't talk about yet, but we're keeping our fingers crossed with
Exciting things, people.
because Allie is a Russian spy, so she has connections. But because
President
I'm
Dora.
leaving on the
Sorry.
9th, we are going to record Wednesday night right
Immediately
after the episode.
after the show.
I mean,
we never do that.
No, we're going to, the moment it's over, a few minutes for us to do a bio break. We're going to then,
Maybe I'll Periscope some of it.
we'll jump on. Oh, that would be fun.
Ooh,
Who knows?
right?
I may live tweet the episode and we're going to jump
We
on.
could do that too.
Yeah,
You want
and
to
then-
live tweet the Americans episode together?
Yeah,
From
that'd
our
be great.
Comrades SMG at Twitter, or not at Twitter, at
Yes.
Comrades SMG on Twitter.
What should be our hashtag as we produce on the air?
Comrades.
Okay.
Comrades 4 as the season 4.
Okay.
How about Comrades, this number 4 for season 4.
Okay.
And then something right after it. Like Comrades 4 SMG. No, that people won't remember that. I don't know, we'll think of something,
Okay,
people.
yeah, and we will let you know in plenty of time. And then the plan is to get this to our podcast leader, Rob, and I'll ask him if we can, have it out that Friday. That would be awesome. The day, or that Thursday, no later than Friday. That would be great.
Look, I'll edit it if I have to. How hard? Cut, paste, cut,
Yeah, exactly.
paste.
There we go. In fact, we'll do
I have
it
the
live.
tools over at the Residentura.
Yes, you do. Allie, how can people find you?
The best way to reach me is on Twitter at A Forever New York Girl, and that's A, the number 4, EVA, NYGIRL. You could also reach both Jesse and I on Twitter at our podcast handle, which is at Comrades SMG. You can email us directly at comradessmg@gmail.com. And Jesse Jackson, how can they reach you?
I am at Jesse Jackson DFW, and and at Set Listing Bruce if you want to see the Bruce things.
Because now that you got your plug-in and
yes.
Put in your whole podcast award thing, and then I have to say something.
Yes, we are nominated for a podcast
Crowd
award.
Goes wild.
And there is still a few days left to vote, about a week. You can vote from now till the 12th, once a day, under music.
And you have to make sure you verify your votes
yes.
when you get the email, people. Your vote does not count if you don't verify.
Absolutely.
Now,
yes.
I have a ruthless plug.
Yes.
So, ladies and gents, there's this possibility of me doing something fun. Of course, Jesse will be along for some of the ride, of my own coming up. But before I do, I'd like to talk to you. If you are a divorced female between the ages of 25 and 55, please reach out to me on Twitter at a Forever New York Girl, or email me personally at ali.scales, SCALAS 7 at gmail.com, and put in the subject line, I'm divorced. Thank you.
There is some top secret things we're looking at doing, aren't we?
We are. Fun, fun, fun.
Yes. Well,
this way you could all hear my New York annoying voice throughout the year. Not just when the Americans are on.
Not a annoying voice at all. All right.
Yeah.
So, how would you rate this episode?
Oh, I would rate it definitely a 9. Let's see, a 9 lip glosses.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it 9 tender first kisses.
See, we both were thinking the same thing.
Yes, we were. So much stuff. So wonderful.
Much. Yeah. We thank you all for listening too, and the reviews that are coming in are fabulous, so please keep them coming.
Absolutely. And for now, we're going to thank you. Thank you, Allie. Thank you, listeners.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
And there we go.
Hey.
Okay.
So, let me tell you.
We hope you've enjoyed this show. This podcast is part of the 80s Reboot Overdrive channel on Southgate Media Group. You can follow us on Facebook on the 80s Reboot group page. We're also on Twitter and Tumblr at 80s Reboot. We invite you to check out all the wonderful podcasts and blogs available at southgatemediagroup.com. And thank you for reliving the 80s.